So the idea that we're talking about unconditional love, we're not talking about the Valentine's Day love or the honeymoon love. We're talking about the love that you had this morning when you either dragged them out of bed or they dragged you out of bed, one of the two, okay? And you decided that you had to come here today, or you were going to come here today. That's the kind of love that we're talking about. So that decision to love them, or for them to love you when we're not so lovable, okay? You know, like when you come home, my sister-in-law used to call 4 to 6 help time, okay? Because nobody's at their best. The kids are, and you're tired, and the whole 9 yards. And that's usually when we hurt each other somewhere in that moment where we're not all at our best. And kids, you know, have a master's degree in figuring out when we're not at our best, okay? Even though they may not be able to spell, they have a master's degree in that, okay? So that's the kind of love that we're talking about. Now, unconditional love is what we call in the church, you know, the covenant of Abraham. So the covenant means, I will love you no matter what you do to me, okay? So there's unconditional love that we feel from God, okay? But we, for the most part, experience conditional love. You know, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you, okay? If I support your campaign, then you'll put me in your cabinet, okay? So if, you know, we a lot of our kids are pretty, also have a master's degree in negotiation. I figure if we sent them to some of these countries, the wars would be over quickly, okay? They wear down the leaders in a hurry, just like they wear us down. And so the problem is because we experience very conditional love, we sometimes put that on to God. Now I always say one of the hardest things for a parent when you have teenagers or 20-year-olds, or this week it was a 58-year-old who died of alcoholism, you can divorce your spouse, but you can't divorce your kids. Okay? And sometimes it's a little harder for us to love unconditionally. And it's a real challenge for us, okay? So true love is unconditional, but it's hard for us. And that doesn't mean that, you know, you just get the heck kicked out of you all the time. True love is about confrontation, okay? It's about saying, you know, you can't eat all those cookies anymore because you're struggling to move, okay? Or, you know, when you drink, you're like this, okay? And most of the time, you're a pretty good person, but when you drink, this is what you do, okay? And so a lot of confrontation happens out of love. One of the 5 characteristics of our parish now is to confront, to forgive, and to accept. And everybody here got all nervous when I used the word confront, because they thought that meant this angry, I said, no, confront is not out of anger, it's out of love. It's that ability to talk to somebody and say, you know, please don't do that anymore, okay? I love you. I want you to watch our kids grow up, okay? I don't want you to eat yourself to death, or drink yourself to death, or whatever you're doing that's killing you, okay? When we walk around and we look at life, you ask yourself, well, how can somebody get to that point? Well, no one's confronted them, but they haven't let anybody confront them, okay? One of my buddies from seminary, his sister's been in a nursing home since August. She's 60 years old. She's about 400 pounds. Okay? And if she wasn't 400 pounds, she'd have been out of hospital at the end of August, and she'd be home and she'd be fine. They had to totally redo her house, and I don't even know if she's going to be able to get home to her house. Okay? So how do we confront out of love, not out of anger, and not with pointed fingers? Okay? So that's the kind of love that we're talking about. Now, when we get into love of our neighbor, you know, that's where we get into the parents' love of, you know, not only our children, but other people's children, okay? And that's something we're struggling with, you know, in schools. I mean, I deal with it with the Catholic schools. Some of the things some of our parents say about other kids blows my mind, okay? The things that they say about other people's kids, the friends of their kids. It's kind of an amazing thing. We used to have to worry about bullying between the kids, but now we got to worry about it in all other facets. And when you put it on social media, it never dies. It's there forever. So you can't say I didn't say that. It's on Almighty God and Facebook. Okay? And so now we not only have bullying at school, we have bullying 24/7. Okay? And it's right here on our little guy. We also have the ability to love 24/7. Okay? And put messages on there that inspire people 24/7. Okay? So we're in a different mode than when we grew up on how we can love. You know, one of our challenges, we're making these bags for people. We don't think there's a problem sometimes. And did you know that MCC has a food pantry? Did you know that high school has a food pantry? We're in the 7th richest county in the United States of America, and our high school has a food pantry. And our community college is very simple. The story of the woman at the well. Okay? The woman at the well, Jesus comes, and the woman says, "Give me a drink." Or he says, "Give me a drink." And she says, "No, you don't want me to give you a drink. I'm a woman, I'm a Samaritan, you don't want me." He says, "No, I do." And she says, "No, you don't." She says, "You don't know me." He says, "Well, you've had 5 husbands, right? And the one you're with now isn't your husband." She goes, "Wow, he knows me, he accepts me." Okay? Which is a different thing. Okay? And we don't have a lot of time. What I want to do is something that we did in a school situation. I was in a school situation where the Catholics and the publics hated each other. We were in a small town and it was not helpful, and I was not proud being part of the Catholic school, how we treated each other. So we got the kids together and we asked them, you know, how can we work together more? And so they created a thing called BLIND, Building Lasting Impressions That Never Die. They named it. We didn't. And the idea was if we get to know each other, then we trust each other and we love each other. If we don't know each other, we judge each other. So we judge by how we look and all that, okay? And it was a pretty successful thing, and actually now those kids are 28, 29, 30, and they still are showing the effects of what we did with them back then. So what we want us to do is not sit or talk, but to actually move. And it's kind of hard in here because we're going to do a thing called crossing the line, okay? You may have seen this or done this in another place, but it's hard because we got all these tables and we got all these chairs. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just, if you can just stand and put your chair in, okay? We can only do this for about 10 minutes because I'm on a time slot here. You're okay over there. It doesn't matter which side you're on. If you have to sit down, but you know, if you don't, hang in there with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question, you know, and if your answer is yes to the question, then I'm going to ask you to come into the middle, okay? So if you're good there, you're fine, and if you want to come over here, that's fine too. So, have you ever felt unconditional love for another person? Cross the line or come to the middle. Okay. Right? Okay, please return to where you were. Have you ever felt unconditional love from another person? Some of us have, some of us haven't. Okay? Most of us say we have. Okay, so we know what it is. Okay, please return. Have you ever worried that you could lose someone's love if you did not behave in a certain way? So if you didn't behave in a certain way, you would lose their love. Okay? This one's a hard one. Okay? Some of us have, some of us haven't. I think most of us worry about that every day, don't you? Okay? You can ask about 3 questions now, and you know if people agree with you or don't agree with you. You know whether you can talk to them about something or not. You know? Okay? All right, please return. Have you ever forgiven someone who is difficult to forgive? Have you ever forgiven someone who is difficult to forgive? Okay. Some of us have, most of us have, some of us haven't. A lot of times when we go to confession, it's not about what we need to be forgiven for, it's do we need to forgive. Okay? My family still is out of whack from 1969 when Uncle Chuck got hit by the train and his wife didn't let his brothers come to see him in the hospital. That's 1969. We're almost 50 years now, and we're still trying to repair this thing. 1969, yeah. Most of our families have something where somebody didn't forgive. I have one buddy whose father came to his son's confirmation, and he yelled at the other son right in the back of church. And he said, "Okay, Dad, that's it. You can't come anymore. We're not going to talk to you anymore." And they haven't talked since that day. And he thinks that's great. But his son's other grandfather's dead. So it's the only grandfather he has. And what's going to happen when he gets sick and dies? And he didn't know him. And now they have to forgive each other. Okay? Please return. Have you ever restricted your children's friends because you felt their family was beneath yours? Have you ever restricted your children's friends because you felt their family was beneath yours? Okay. This is a hard one for us to step forward on. Okay. There's an interesting thing. When I was doing high school work, people used to say, "That's a bad kid." Okay? And I used to say, you know, there aren't good kids and bad kids. There's kids who have supervision and don't have supervision. And so before you let your kids go to somebody's house, you want to know that they're being supervised, right? You don't want to think, well, they're just getting a run of the mill and they can do whatever the hell they want, right? But sometimes it comes off on, well, we don't want you to go over in that part of town or this part of town or in that place, you know. We might be a little nervous. Garden Quarter, on Hillcrest Street in this town, stuff like that. Okay, and so it challenges us to think. When I was a child, it was very racist. My grandfather was the most racist human being I've ever met. He left his home on the south side of Chicago and went up to Hickory Hills, which is what was happening in 1970. And he used the N-word like the. Okay, and it was a difficult situation, and I knew this lady. Her name was Johnny, and she had 5 kids, and she lived down by the river in Elgin. Okay, and in Elgin, the poor people lived by the river. Not in McHenry, the rich people lived by the river. But in Elgin, the poor people lived there. They lived in this little house, all these kids in there. Okay, and I remember my impression of a black person was Johnny. My grandfather's was all these people that were killing people and moving him out of his home. Okay? So we all have a different experience of people, and that tends to light our experience. So the question is, when we're dealing with our kids, how do we deal with a child who may not be, you know, have the stuff we have, or be in a position, or maybe have the supervision? We had one child in the Catholic school who didn't want to sing at graduation, and she had a beautiful voice, and we couldn't figure out why she wanted to sing. You know why she wanted to sing? She didn't have a dress. Her father couldn't afford a dress and clean the school so she could go to it. So the mothers figured it out. One mom took her home. She had 4 daughters and said, "Okay, which dress do you want to wear?" And then she sang. Okay? So how do we do that? How do we help those kids? Okay? Please return. All right, we've got room for a couple more. Have you ever felt lesser than because you didn't share someone else's level of experience or education? So have you ever been judged because you had a lesser education or experience? Okay. we've been brought up in a world where if you don't get a bachelor's degree, you don't even get considered for certain things, right? Whether you know anything or not. You can be an idiot, but if you have a bachelor's degree, you can get an interview for a certain position. If you don't, you'll never get in the door, right? And how's that working out for us? Okay? It's a difficult thing. Okay? Please return. Do you affirm your children on a regular basis? Cross the line if you affirm your children on a regular basis. Okay. So we're all pretty good at that. We're kind of struggling with the group that everybody got a trophy. So how do we do it if somebody doesn't affirm you, or if your boss isn't going to be that affirming? And according to statistics, you're going to have you have to work for 8 different companies, so that's a lot of bosses in life. So that's something you got to think about. Please return. You show gratefulness to your parents. You show gratefulness to your parents. Okay. Now this is an interesting one because some of us, our parents were able to give us things, some of us weren't. I had a lady die, and a grandma, and the 10-year-old was a mess because when the 10-year-old gets off the bus, he goes to grandma's house. That's what he does. And sooner or later, mom gets home from work, and then he goes there. I had one this week, another 10-year-old, a mess because his grandpa died. Okay. So how do we work with our parents? And some of us, if we're honest, I mean, my dad was an alcoholic, my mom was mentally ill, they're both dead now, but they didn't have much to give, okay? So it was hard to show gratitude towards them because I had to take care of them. They didn't necessarily raise me. So some of us have that too, okay? Please return. Cross the line if you're willing to accept help from other people. So have you ever accepted help from other people? Okay. This seems like a stupid one, okay? But sometimes this is the difference between life and death, okay? If I have the strength to reach out, especially for us men, okay, we were not conditioned. We were pussies. We were weak if we asked for help, okay? Well, this week we had a 39-year-old dad die, okay? I looked at that wife and I said, you know, sometimes the cross gets too heavy and we got to ask for help to carry that cross, okay? So one of the most important things I think in loving our kids and loving each other is to ensure the notion that it takes more courage to ask for help than it does to sit back there and pretend everything's okay. And all of a sudden it goes kaboom. Okay? You and I see enough of those. Okay? So please return. Okay, we're going to end on a make. You know, when you play pig or horse, you always want to end on a make. So, do you feel that Jesus loves you unconditionally? Do you feel that Jesus loves unconditionally? Okay, we're all crossing because we're here. If we did this in the natural world, this would not be like this. This would be like about half and half. Because a lot of us struggle to believe that Jesus loves us for a couple of reasons. First, the priests aren't that good. They've hurt us, okay? Or people in the church have. And secondly, we've been disappointed by God, okay? And we struggle with that. It's easier to believe in science or something where there's fact, okay? So you guys represent the majority here, but we are not the majority as we go out there, okay? So that's a tool that you're giving your children, okay? That's a very important tool, okay? And why you should all congratulate each other that you're here today and that you're giving your children this tool, because it's the most important tool. It's better than the iPad, better than the iPhone, okay? You can find that out the day that grandma or grandpa dies, and you need to make that connection. If you don't have that faith, then there's no connection, okay? So give yourself an applause because you are who you are. Okay, we can sit down. I wanted to talk, give you more time to talk amongst yourselves, but we don't have time. I want to close with something that I found very inspirational. You may have seen this online, you may have not seen it online. But to me it was inspirational for two reasons. I want you to pay attention to what this one kid on the other team does, and then I want you to pay attention to his response when he asked him why he did what he did. Okay? Because then you realize how important you are.
Thunderbirds in El Paso, Texas, makes no qualms about it. He has a favorite on this team.
Mitchell, I need you to help me out with my coaching tips, Mitchell.
Team manager Mitchell Marcus has a developmental disability.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And he far surpasses everyone here when it comes to love of the game.
He's just an amazing person that our basketball team loves being around.
Yay!
Mitchell's mom, Amy, says he's always been that way.
Mitchell always had a basketball. That was always what he wanted for his birthday.
And because basketball is that important to him, on the last game of the regular season, the coach told Mitchell to suit up.
What was it like to put on the uniform?
I was very happy.
I imagine you were.
Just wearing a jersey was enough for Mitchell. But what he didn't know, what no one knew at the time, was that the coach planned to play him at the end, no matter what the score.
You were prepared to lose that game.
For his moment, yes. For his moment in time, yes.
And so, with a minute and a half left, Coronado leading, but only by 10, Coach Morales put in his manager.
And just started hearing Mitchell.
But here's where the fairy tale fell apart. Although his teammates did everything they could to get Mitchell a basket, each time they passed him the ball, he either missed the shot, or like on their last possession, booted it out of bounds, turning the ball over to the other team with just seconds left.
He wasn't going to be able to score. But I was hoping that he was happy that he was just put in the game.
Could you have ever imagined what happened next?
I could not. Not at all.
What happened next happened on the inbound. The guy with the ball there is a senior at Franklin High School, number 22, Jonathan Montañez.
I was raised to treat others how you want to be treated. Just thought Mitchell deserved his chance, deserves his opportunity.
I think I'll cry about it for the rest of my life.
What Jonathan did was yell out Mitchell's name, then threw the ball right to him, right there. One of the most memorable turnovers of all time. It wasn't the game-winning shot. When the buzzer sounded, Coronado had 15 more points than Franklin. But Jonathan's assist and Mitchell's basket did change the outcome decidedly. Play any game with this much sportsmanship, both teams win. Steve Hartman on the road in El Paso, Texas.
It doesn't get any better than that. How proud of your son would you be if that was your son that made that inbound pass? All the time he spent on sports, what did he say? He said, I was raised to treat others as I want to be treated. Okay? Imagine how different our world would be if that was the norm. Okay? So, once again, well, let's do these guys, this is the way. What we want to do now is I believe we have Jim's, there's Jim. He's going to talk to us about St. Vincent de Paul and how we reach out. I apologize, I have to go because I have to do mass. So hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks. Have a wonderful day. And remember, the most exciting part of this week is pitchers and catchers report. Does that work?
get started, I'll let you know that I cried first when I saw that. I'm not exactly sure why I'm here. Really don't know. But let's take care of some housekeeping first. If you go through those doors, there's a hallway, there's no glass, it's a safe place to be. Our Lord Jesus Christ is a very busy person, or being. And if you, I'm sorry, I have a hard time talking about anything like this. But anyway, if you understand there's 1.5 billion Catholics in the world, and they're all praying. And they're all praying in a whole bunch of languages. And then there's a whole lot of Christians in the world who aren't Catholic, and they're praying in a whole lot of languages. He's a busy guy, he's trying to sort through all that. So I've been given about 10 minutes. So if I happen to go over a few minutes, I suggest you go to those doors before he finds out who's talking to you today. Because I'm not sure I should be here. Several years ago, I'm going to say my grandson was 3, for whatever reason, I quit going to church. For a lot of reasons, not to. But geez, why can't I talk? Maybe I'll go a little background about me. My name is Jim Crow. I was in education 30 years. I taught with the Department of Corrections. I taught in the high school. The first year I was made the dean. I suspended 1,200 and some kids and cut the suspensions down 300. So I'm not usually as soft-hearted as what you may think I am now. I'm not. But something happens to me here. So about 4 years ago this Easter, actually, the mass schedule at the parish that we belonged to, even though we weren't going except for Christmas and Easter, we were the Christers. The mass schedule didn't work out. I came over here. I heard Father Paul. I watched the service, and I haven't left. And I went to see him because I remembered when I was a principal, you get a lot of negatives. You get people that are mad at you because their kid didn't start the basketball team. You get a kid mad at you, a parent mad at you because the teacher flunked him and he's the smartest kid in the world. And you get a lot of negatives. Boy, you felt good if anybody ever came in and say something to you that you did something right today. So I thought it was important I go talk to him. And I said to him, I'm here to let you know that you did your job today, or Sunday. He wanted to know what I meant, I told him. I've been away from church, I'm coming back to church because of you. And I say this to you today. I give that man a lot of credit because I think he saved my life. Sorry. So anyway, one of the things he said, get involved. Because maybe if you get involved, come on. Maybe if you get involved, it won't be so hard to walk away. I listen to it, but I don't do too much. So then, oh, I don't know, it was later on in the summer, he gave us something. Dip your toe in and get involved. He talks to us about that a lot. Like he did today, love your neighbor. Show your spirituality to somebody else. I still didn't quite get it. The tough guy, right? So anyway, I bring in my grandson to catechism. I give that boy a lot of credit. he was 12 years old to make his first communion because, with the 7 and 8-year-olds, because I went to church and said his mother did, he did. That was a great example. So anyway, I bring him to catechism. And catechism goes from 4:30 to 6 on Monday nights. So I bring him in, and there's a whole bunch of people, not a whole bunch of people, a few people in the kitchen, and they're busy. Man, they're busy. They're running around, they're setting up tables, they're setting up chairs. I asked the guy, one of the guys' his name was Steve. I said, Steve, what are you doing here? What's going on? He told me about the community kitchen. Hey, I'm not doing anything. I got an hour and a half to kill every Monday. It's not that I looked for the time, I had the time, right? I didn't try to find it for any particular reason. It was just given to me. I said, need any help? He said, sure, why don't you come in? So my job was making the lemonade. Big can of lemonade, a little cup like this, 34 cups made a 5-gallon thing of lemonade. And I could do that until I learned how to make coffee. I'm making coffee and I'm happy. So somebody else talked to me once about St. Vincent de Paul, and I said, what is it? And they told me what it was. St. Vincent de Paul is we go out by twos and we see people and we try to help them throughout their difficulty, whatever that might be. A heating bill, a water bill, whatever, gas, food. Well, that sounds like something. Hey, he said, get involved, so I'll try that. So I went to 3 meetings, and I went on 2 visits with one of the gentlemen, one of the Vincentians. And then the ladies in the community kitchen tricked me. And instead of making the lemonade, all of a sudden I became the menu planner. And I'm not sure how that happened. There was another gentleman that came in with me for the same reasons. All of a sudden he became the chairperson. And we still don't know how that happened. So I went to St. Vincent de Paul and I said, hey, I'll come back. But I'm so involved all of a sudden in this lemonade business and making a menu and feeding the people. We feed 80 to 100 people every week in here. And they don't come just for the food. They come, as I found out, they come for the companionship and the love of their friends that come with them. And I believe over the years they come because they recognize the love that we try to provide them. So, there I am. So then, after I was supposed to do that 2 years. It took 2.5 years later, we finally found somebody else that would do it. So I went back to Jim Tennis, was the name of the president of St. Vincent de Paul at that time. And I went in and I said, Jim, I'm ready to come back because I don't have the same amount of responsibilities. I still go to the dinner every Monday night, help set up, and I do that stuff, but I don't have to do all that other stuff. I don't have to plan anything. I don't have to send out memos. So I went. The second meeting I went, they made me the president. They tricked me again. And I'm being honest with you, I'm not doing a real good job about that right now because every single person in the meetings that I have knows more about it than I do. And it's tough to be a leader when you don't know what you're supposed to be doing all the time. But I'm struggling through it. I think I'm going to make it. But the things I'm finding out, St. Vincent de Paul last year gave out $140,000 of your treasure and the other 3 parishes and helped 700 families, and that was with about 10 people who actually go out and make those visits. Think about that, 10 people. I got a lot of notes here, and I know we're running out of time. I'm not going to quote scriptures for you because I'm a new Bible reader. I don't know enough about it. I don't know what I should tell you, what I should tell you. I remember, again, Father, one of the sermons, and I read it in the Bible also, about the widow who gave 2 pennies and gave all she had, and how much better that she was in God's eyes because she gave everything, as opposed to those who had a wealth. I'm semi-retired, I still work a couple of days a week, but if I wanted to, I have all the time in the world. And I can give it. And I try to give some, but think of all of you that are so busy, I know you are because you got kids, I raised kids, and they did all the rest of the things. But just think if maybe you could give a little bit of time, the 2 pennies, and maybe help one person, and help that person instead of having fear, have hope, instead of having, okay, I know, John, I'm sorry. And I told you, but you know, Father Paul was late. All right, and there's a lot of rewards for this. I am finding a great many of them. What I like to say now, and I'll say to you, in my past, I made a lot of friends. My wife says acquaintances, I call them friends. But I made friends in saloons, golf courses, work, at play, and now, at this point in my life, I can honestly say that the new groups of friends I think will be lifelong friends. Thank you, and I'll see you